Okay, this is going to be the first video in the sequence and series unit. I've given you these formulas. I would print this out or take a picture of this just so it's easy access. Okay, we're going to talk about the different types of formulas. These are arithmetic, these are geometric. Okay, the first two, all right, this is the explicit formula. Okay, this is the explicit, all right, for both geometry or geometric and arithmetic. Okay, and I'll explain what those letters mean. And this is the recursive. Okay, these two formulas here. All right, these involve all of these involve sum. So the ones you see with the S involve sum formula. Okay, all right. So we're going to talk about these throughout the course of the chapter. Just wanted to give them to you to start. Okay. So the first one says write the explicit and recursive formula. Okay. Now the big thing you have to be able to do is tell between an arithmetic and a geometric. And here's how you do that. The arithmetic has an addition or subtraction pattern, and the geometric one has a common ratio, which is basically like a multiplier pattern. Okay? Already off the blazing start here. All right, let's talk about these. Yeah, I just made a change because I had something correct. All right, so when you're looking at arithmetic, you want to look to see if there's like a common difference, like they're being added by the same number. Now in this case, if you notice, this is plus 6, this is plus 6, and this is plus 6, okay? All right, so what that means is this is going to be an arithmetic one, all right? Now, in the explicit formula, all right, it's an equals a1 plus n minus 1 times d. Now, what do these n's mean? Okay, you want to leave the a to the n. A1 means what's your first term? All right, well, that's easy. 7 plus n minus 1. N always refers to the number of terms, okay, which we'll use in a little bit. The d stands for the difference, though in this case would be 6, okay? All right, so that would be the explicit. The recursive formula is a equals an minus 1, and then whatever your difference is, okay? What this a to the n minus 1 means is use the previous term, okay? We'll get into how to get the recursive, or it's basically the recursive, while it's a fancy term, basically means just continuing the pattern. So what is happening? You're just continuing the pattern of adding 6, okay? Now, this one, if I tried arithmetic, 4 and 12 would be 8, that's okay. But then 12 to 36, okay, so that's 8. But then you go to here, it's 24, okay? All right, so this one is going to be a geometric. Now, the geometric one, and the big thing is the r, which is our common ratio. That is your second term divided by your first term, okay? So for my problem here, 12 divided by 4 is 3. So basically what that is it's a multiplier of 3. 4 times 3 is 12, 12 times 3 is 36, and so on. Okay, so the explicit formula for this would be an equals a1 times r to the n minus 1, all right? Where a1 is that first term of 4, and r is what we just found. So this would be considered the explicit. The recursive formula is an equals an minus 1 times my multiplier, okay? All right, so that's how you figure that out. So it's just basically how is the pattern continuing, okay? Let's look at this one, okay? What's happening here? Going from here to here, we would be subtracting 7, subtracting 7, and subtracting 7. Notice how the difference, even though the difference was a positive number here, difference could be both positive or negative. So the explicit formula is an equals, my first term is 95 plus n minus 1, okay? And then times a negative 7. My recursive formula is an equals an minus 1 just minus 7. That's the pattern, okay? Basically, in the end, all you got to do with the recursive is put, what's your pattern? What's your pattern, okay? That's a simple way of explaining the recursive, okay? Now, when I go to this one, difference here would be 100, difference here would be 50. So it cannot be arithmetic. So what I would do is I want to find the ratio, which would be second term divided by first term. 100 divided by 200 would be 1/2, okay? So my explicit formula is an equals the first term of 200 times 1/2 to the n minus 1. The recursive is an equals an minus 1 times 1/2, okay? And that's how simple the explicit and the recursive is, okay? So what I like you guys to do, okay, what I like you to do is to pause your video, okay, and come up with the explicit and the recursive formulas for these, okay? All right. All right. So this one, this is a plus 15, plus 15, plus 15. So this is an arithmetic one. An equals 1 plus n minus 1 with my pattern of 15. That's my explicit. My recursive, very easy, is an equals, all right, an minus 1, okay, plus 15, all right? This one here, this would be minus 13, this would be minus 13, this would be minus 13, and this would be minus 13. So this is also arithmetic. So my explicit formula is an equals, okay, 105 plus n minus 1 times negative 13. The recursive one is an equals an minus 1, just minus 13. Okay, now when I do this one, this is 12, and this is like 60. Okay, so we can tell that that's not arithmetic. So let's check geometric. R is going to be equal to 15 divided by 3, which would be 5. That's my pattern, times 5. 3 times 5 is 15, 15 times 5, and so on. So my explicit formula is an equals 3 times 5 to the n minus 1. And my recursive is an equals an minus 1 times 5, because that's my pattern, okay? All right, 360 to 120 is 240, and then 240 to this is 80, because so clearly you can see that that doesn't work. So what I would have to do is 120 over 360, okay, 120 divided by 360. Always get yourself a fraction, is 1/3. So my explicit here would be an equals, my first is 360 times 1/3 to the n minus 1, okay? My recursive is an equals an minus 1 times 1/3, okay? So those should be pretty simple from that standpoint. All right, so let's go on to the next thing. All right, now what I want to do is I want to learn how to find the next 3 terms and then find the certain term. Now, what you need to do in order to do this, first of all, you have to figure out, is it arithmetic or is it geo? Okay, so we got to look at our patterns and how those work. Okay, well this would be 8, 8, and 8. So this is arithmetic. Okay, so we got to figure out that. Second thing is we want to do is we want to write the explicit formula. Okay, all right, I want to write the explicit formula. So the explicit formula is an equals, okay, 12 plus n minus 1 with the difference of 8. Okay, now the next 3 terms are really easy. Okay, for the next 3 terms, just continue your pattern. Okay, just continue your pattern. All right, what's my pattern? My pattern would be, it's adding 8. Okay, so 36 plus 8, next one is 44. Adding 8 would be 52, adding 8 would be 60. Okay, now to find the certain term, to find the nth term, sub the number for n. Okay, so what I got here is very simply, I'm trying to find the 25th term. So I just put the 25 in there, okay? So A25 means 25th term, okay? And I just do a little bit of calculations. I let my calculator do the work. Plus 25 minus 1 times 8. Okay, that's 204. Okay, that's the 25th term, okay? All right, now let's look at this one. This would be 7. This would be 14. Obviously, that's not arithmetic. This would be geo. Okay? So what I would do with geo, I got to find the r, which is second, divided by first. 14 over that would be 2. So then my explicit formula would be 7 times 2 to the n minus 1. Okay? Now, I use my pattern, the next 3 terms, I'm just multiplying by 2. So 28 times 2 is 56. Okay, 56 times 2 is 112. 112 times 2 is 224. Okay, find the 10th term. All I'm going to do is put 10 in for that. So 7 times 2 to the 10 minus 1. I would do that calculation. I wouldn't leave that up to my calculator. Make that 9. So I just do 7 times 2 to the 9th power. Okay, 3584. Okay, that's the 10th. All right. Let's do another 2, I think, together. Okay, so let's look at this. What's happening here? Okay, that would be a difference of 400. That would be a difference of 80. So obviously this is going to be a geo. I'm going to do 100 divided by 500. Second divided by first. Okay, make sure your pattern makes sense. 100 divided by 500 is 1/5. Okay, so what I got is I got AN equals 500 times 1/5 to the n minus 1. Okay, to get the next 3 terms, I just got to do 4 times 1/5, which is 4/5. All right, I want to do that times 1/5 is 4/25. And then that times 1/5 is 4 over 125. Okay, so just keep your pattern going, and it makes sense. It's getting smaller and smaller. Okay, to find the 13th term, very simply, just put 13 in here. 1/5 to the 13 minus 1. So the 13th term is going to be 500 times 1/5 to the 12th power. Okay, now when you put your fraction in, put parentheses around it to the 12th power. Okay, and that's going to be 4 over that huge number, 195, 3125. Okay, all right, let's look at this one. I would be subtracting 11, subtracting 11, subtracting 11. All right, so AN equals 47 plus n minus 1 times negative 11. Okay, the next 3 terms is just keeping that pattern going. 14 minus 11 is 3. 3 minus 11 is negative 8. And negative 8 minus 11 is negative 19. Okay, to find the 13th term, I just put 13 in for n. Okay, and as you can see, it's getting smaller. So I got 47, 13 minus 1 times negative 11. That's negative 6204. Okay, if I kept, wait, does that look right? Oh, whoops, there should have been a plus in here. That's not right. Hold on, 47 plus. And I knew that looked weird because the number was too big. Negative 85. Okay. All right, so what I'd like you guys to do is go ahead and try these 2 on your own. All right, so this one, difference here is 16, difference here is 48, so that's too big. So it's R 28 over 3, which 24 divided by 3 would be 8. So my explicit would be 8 times 8 to the n minus 1. I'm sorry, not 8. Oh, come on, Mr. Evans. 18 divided by 3, or divided by 8, is 3. So it's 8 times 3 to the n minus 1. Okay, so my pattern here is 3. It's multiplication of 3. So it would be 216 times 3, 648. 648 times 3 is 1944. And 1944 times 3 is 5832. Okay? They want us to find the 14th term. So 14, 8 times 14 minus 1. The 14th term is going to be 8 times 3 to the 13th power. So 8 times 3 to the 13th power. Okay, big number, 1275. 4584. Okay? All right, find the next 3 terms. Find the 31st term. Okay? All right? So that would be minus 4. That'd be minus 4. That'd be minus 4. Okay? All right, so obviously this is arithmetic. Okay, so AN equals A1 is 50 plus N minus 1 times negative 4. Okay, the next 3 terms I'm just doing minus 4. So 38 minus 4 is 34. 34 minus 4 is 30. 30 minus 4 is 26. Okay, I'm trying to find the 31st term, so 31. 50 plus 31 minus 1 times negative 4. So that 31st term is 50 plus 31 minus 1. 31 minus 1, and then negative 4. It's negative 7. Okay. All right, moving on to the next thing. Find the missing numbers in the arithmetic sequence. Now, this sort of gives you an idea of what kind of sequences it is because it tells you. Now, here's what you do. You sort of just block out these terms. So how many terms do I got here? 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have 4 terms, all right? 4 terms. I know I got this blank here, but I'll deal with that in a little bit. Okay, so what I would do is I'm going to use the explicit formula for arithmetic, all right? I'm going to use the explicit formula for arithmetic. I don't know the difference, because if I knew the difference, I could fill it in, okay? Now, so what do I got? The N I know is 4, so A4, all right? My A1 now is 11. I know 4, and I know letter D. Now, this A4 I've created is 32. 4 minus 1 would be 3. Okay? 4 minus 1 would be 3. So now I'm just solving for D. So that'd be 21 equals 3D. Divide by 3. The D is 7. Okay? Now, this is where you have to have a little bit of number sense. How can I fill in those? We'll just do 11 plus 7 is 18. 18 plus 7 is 25. Now, how would I go this way? Well, think about it. Let's think logically. I would do 11 minus 7. Why? So my pattern now looks all the same. 7, adding 7 as we went. So you got to have a little bit of number sense in there. So for this, what I want to do is block off these. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 terms. Okay, so I'll do AN, A1 plus N minus 1 times D. Okay, A is going to be 5, so 32. 5 minus 1 with the difference. My fifth one there is 12, so I got 32 plus 4D here. Subtract 32, so that's negative 20 equals 4D, and divide by 4, I got a difference of negative 5. Okay, so as you can see, I would just subtract by 5. 32 minus 5 is 27, then it would be 22, then it would be 17, then it would be 12. Now, let's think about it. Let's make this logical. How would I go back the other way? I would add 5. Okay, because then that's 37, and then add 5 again. That's going to be 42. Okay, and my pattern works. Okay, so you just got to have a little bit of number sense. Just basically block out the numbers you need. Okay, you guys go ahead and try these. All right, this one, I block off this. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 terms. Okay, so AN equals A1 plus N minus 1 times D. So I'm using 4 terms. My first is 65. Okay, my last term is 38. This is a 3D, 4 minus 1. subtract 35, or subtract 65. 38 minus 65, I think is 27. Negative 27. Divide by 3. Okay, I got a difference of negative 9. So I'm subtracting 9. Okay, so 65 minus 9 is 56. Subtracting 9 again is 47. And if I subtracted 9 again, I get that. How do I go back the other way? Do 65 plus 9. 74. 74 plus 9. 83. Okay? All right, let's do this one. Okay, block those off. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 terms. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and put the 5 in. Skip ahead a little bit here. Okay, my fifth term is 75. Okay, subtract 3. That's 72 equals 4D. Divide by 4. D, I think, is 18. 18, yep. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 18 going this way. 3 plus 18 is 21, then 39, then 57. To work backwards, I would just do 3 minus 18. Get negative 15. So that's my pattern. Just check your pattern when you're done. And you add 18 all the way through. Okay? All right? Now, let's go to the last thing. It says, given the sequence, find the number of terms. Once again, the big thing you got to figure out first is it arithmetic or geo? Okay? So here, that's 9, that's 36. So I got to do geo. That's R is 12 divided by 3. Okay, so my R is going to be 4. Okay? All right? Now, once I do that, I'm going to make the explicit formula. All right? So what I got here is I'll have AN equals 3 times 4 to the n minus 1. Now, I don't know the number of terms, okay? Don't know the number of terms, all right? So what I can do, all right, for this is I can go ahead and put 3,072 in for my last term. I divide by 3, okay? So 3,072 divided by 3 is 1,024 equals 4 to the n minus 1. So all I got to do is play around with the n now and figure out what that number would be. Okay, all right. So 4 to the 7th. No. 4 to the 6th. All right. No. 4 to the 5th. Okay. All right. So if I do 4 to the 5th, that works. Okay. So but I need this to be n minus 1. So my n would be 6. Okay. Why? Because if I do 4 to the 6 minus 1, I get that result. So it's a little bit of, you can use a little bit of guess and check if you want. Okay? All right? This one, pattern here is times 5. Pattern here, I'm sorry, would be plus 12. And then here would be plus 12. Sorry. So I'd be doing plus 12, plus 12. Okay, so this is an arithmetic one, okay? This is arithmetic, all right? So I got AN equals A1 plus N minus 1 times D, okay? Now, I know my first term. I don't know the number of terms, but I know the letter D there is that. Okay, this is a little bit easier algebraically, okay? All right, I would distribute this, so that's, actually, I can move this 3. Let's move this 3 first. Okay, so let's subtract 3 here. So it's 300, and then I would have n minus 1 times 12. All right, so that's going to be 12n minus 12. Okay, I would add 12, so that's going to be 312 equals 12n. Hopefully I did this right. 312 divided by 12, okay? Divide by 12, divide by 12, n is 26. So the algebra one, you don't have to do as much guess and check work on that, okay? All right, let's look at this one. Difference here would be 31. The difference here would be 31, so minus 31. So I'm dealing with an arithmetic, okay? So AN equals A1 plus N minus 1 times D, okay? I know the last term. I know the first term. I know that this is negative 31, okay? I'm gonna subtract 89 from the get-go, okay? All right, so I got negative 526 minus 89, that's negative 615. All right, I'm gonna distribute this, okay? So it's gonna be negative 31n, negative 31 times that would be positive. Okay, I wanna subtract this 31. Okay, negative 615 minus 31 is negative 646 equals negative 31n, and I want to divide by negative 31, and I hope this works. Negative 646 divided by negative 31. I did something wrong here. What did I do wrong? Oh, it's 562 at the beginning. Oh. Sorry. So you know what, let's go ahead and, it felt like something wasn't right there. So that's gonna be minus 562 minus 89. Negative 562 minus 89 is negative 651. Then subtract 31 from that. That's negative 682. Let's hope that works now. Divide that by 3, and divide that by negative 31. And there we go. We got n equals 22. Okay? All right, now on this one, all right, that's a difference of 35, and that's not. So we got to do our geometric, which would be 85 divided by 50. Okay, 85 divided by 50. Okay, it's 1.7 or 17 over 10. Okay, so I got an equals a1 equals 50 times 17 over 10 raised to the n minus 1. Now, I do know this other one is 417.605, okay? So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide each side by 50. Okay, so I got 417.605 divided by 50, okay? All right, that's what I get, all right? So I got 8.3521 equals 17 over 10 to the n minus 1. So, all right, so all I gotta do is play around and do a little guess and check work here. I got 17 divided by 10 raised to the, let's say 3 minus 1. All right, that doesn't work. Let's try 6. That's too many. Let's try 5. That works. So the number of terms here is 5. So the geometric one, you got to play a little bit of guess and check. All right? So what I'd like you guys to do, go ahead and pause your video and go ahead and try these two. Okay? Now this one, the difference would be 9. This difference is 27. All right? Or no, I'm sorry, 18. So we know this is geometric. Okay? This is geo. So I do 18 over 9, which would give me 2. So I got an times, or an equals 9 times 2 to the n minus 1. Well, I can go ahead and put the 1152 in here, okay, and then divide the 9 over, okay? So 1152 divided by 9 is 128. So 128 equals 2 to the n minus 1. So I just got to play around with this. 2 to the, let's say 7 minus 1. No, 2 to, that was pretty close, 8 minus 1. All right, that gets me 128. So that would be my answer, 8 problems, okay? This one, I'd be adding 18, adding 18. So this is an arithmetic, all right? So I got negative 17 plus n minus 1 times d, okay? I know that 649 is the last term, okay? And the difference was positive 18, okay? So what I want to do is add 17, that's going to be 666, okay? All right, equals n minus 1 times 18. I would distribute that, so it's 18n minus 18. I would add 18 to both sides. That's 684. And divide by 18. Let's see what that gives me. Okay, 684 divided by 18 gives me n being 38. Okay, so